NTBSS activating Southern Tier.
This is W2FJH. We'll be starting the STNY digital voice net in just about 5 minutes. We do have NetLogger up and running for those folks who was checking early through NetLogger. NetLogger can be found at netlogger.org. We also do have Google Meet up and running. So if you wish to join us or would like to talk about something in the AfterNet tech topic, you can find a link at stnydmr.net. So we'll see you folks in just about 5 minutes there. Also, just as an FYI, if you haven't seen, I did try to post a little bit early. Our net topic this evening is going to be your thoughts on the Anytone D168UV. If you head on over to 73.net, there is a short video there. Well, I shouldn't say short; it's about 18 minutes. But just if you had a little extra time and you wanted to look it up and find some information about it before the net, feel free. So we're starting in just about 5 minutes there. This is W2FGH.
W2FJH NTBSS.
N2BSS, W2FJH. Hey, Jeff, how's it going there?
Yeah, we're doing okay. We had the storm rolled through here a couple hours ago and packed quite the punch. We're lucky over here, only a few branches down, but the other end of town, they've got extended power outages and whatnot. But anyway, we're doing all right. Just FYI, I might be in and out tonight. We're having a late dinner, and we've got some company over, so I might not be able to break away when it's my turn. So I'll just say hello and goodbye right now.
Okay, that sounds good, Jeff. If you want, I'll mark you as short time, and we'll just get to you first. If that sounds good to you.
Yeah, that'll work. We're at least 10, 20 minutes away from serving here. Just gonna let everything get set up down in the kitchen. So I will probably be here first thing. So that sounds good. Give me a call, and if I'm here, I will chat away. I'll let you know my thoughts on the 168 radio and TBSS.
Hey, sounds good there, Jeff. So I have you marked in as short time, and if you got to step away, you got to step away. So no worries at all if it takes too long and we can't get to you. But I do have you marked down, and we'll get to you first a short time. This is W2FJH bringing up the STNY Digital Voice Net on Brandmeister Talk Group 31367, Wires X Room 83721, and live stream to Google Meet and YouTube. The primary purpose of the STNY Digital Voice Net is to help foster an active digital voice community in the southern tier of New York and to provide a forum for those that are interested or have questions regarding various digital voice topics. While this net is primarily for the southern tier, all stations are more than welcome to check in. This net meets weekly on Sundays at 7 p.m. For more information about this net, please visit stnydmr.net. This net will prioritize short-time, mobile, in-and-out, or emergency power stations. We currently do have 7 stations checked in through NetLogger, so the net would like to recognize K3BYC Carlton, W2KD Dennis, N2RWH Ed, N2NRA Cliff, N3OJP Nick, N2QFD Mal, and N2BSS Jeff, which is short time. All right, when checking in, please give your call sign, your name, and your location. So let's first take a standby for any stations that are short time, mobile, in and out, or emergency power. Please call now. All right, nothing heard there, so let's open it up for any station that would like to check into the STNY Digital Voice Net this evening. Please call now.
W2FJH, this is NE2W, Nancy Echo 2 Whiskey Ed in Binghamton. Over.
Kilo Delta 3 Alpha Juliet November KD3 AJN. This is Anna in Beaver County. No traffic.
November 3 Delta, Quebec Delta, M3DQD, Ray, Beaver County.
All right, and we have NE2W Ed, KD3 AJN Anna, and N3DQD Ray. Were there any other stations that joined this evening? Please call now. All right, nothing heard there, so let's move on over to our short time station, and we'll kick things off with that. So the net topic this evening, I know Jeff is aware of it, but we are talking about your thoughts on the Anytone ATD168UV, the new budget DMR radio from Anytone. So Jeff, kick us off there, N2BSS.
Hey, good evening, Frank in the net. W2FJH and T2BSS here in Happy Valley, Pennsylvania. We kind of got clobbered by the storm earlier today. About 3 o'clock or so, whatever it was. Really high winds, and they came from the wrong direction. But over at the N2PSS QTH, we're doing all right. But areas about town, I think there's about 10,000 people without power. And just north of here, significant, tree limb damage, trees down and whatnot. So hopefully nobody got hurt. But that's the story on the weather. Ham radio wise, I picked up a new lithium iron phosphate battery, 100 amp hours, so a giant battery. And it's going to go into the ham shack, and that's going to be providing rig power and be charged off of the solar cell. So there you go. That be an interesting thing to see how long a 100 amp hour battery lasts when transmitting FT8. Anyway, the D168 radio looks like a really looks like a really nice radio. My only complaint, and it applies for the entirety of the rest of the Anytone line, is that you must use Windows to set up the code plug. No acknowledgement that Macs exist or Linux exist, and I'm exclusively Mac and Linux, no Windows. I haven't had Windows here for over a year and a half, which means my code plug is getting stale. So I need to update my 878. That's my only complaint about that radio. Otherwise, it looks like a really good entry point. Kind of what the 878 used to be before it got expensive. Back to net and to BSF.
Hey, thanks, there, Jeff. And yeah, that's a good point. I haven't really, I use Windows, so I haven't really thought about that. That they don't make the CPSs for other operating systems. So, very good point there. All right, we're going to backtrack a bit here, and we're going to kick things off with announcements. If there's any announcements for the net this evening, please call now.
Well, this is NE2W with an announcement.
Yeah, NE2W. Ed, fire away with your announcement.
Okay, thank you, Frank. I didn't think about you asked for announcements. I wanted to mention that this Wednesday, the third Wednesday of the month, is when we have our BERA, Binghamton Amateur Radio Association monthly club meeting up at the Copernic Observatory in Vestal. The meeting starts at 7 o'clock. If you want to get a license or upgrade, show up an hour earlier. We do a free VE exam at 6. Bring your license or your FRN number. Walk-ins are welcome. And then our meeting starts at 7, and after about a half-hour business meeting, we're going to have a presentation by Ben, KC2OTS. He's our guest speaker this month. He's going to deliver a presentation on using solar power for amateur radio. Might go right along with the battery thing. Ben's been at this for many years, and he's going to bring some solar panels and other components to do a hands-on demonstration. And in addition, we'll be giving a tour of Copernic Observatory. The amateur station there also has a solar energy setup for operations. The solar's for the ham side, not the observatory side. That's what I have. Thanks for the opportunity. Back to you, Nat. This is NE2W.
Oh, thank you, Ed, for the reminder there. Every month there, I always go back and I'm like, oh shoot, I missed the meeting again, and then I catch the meeting on your guys' YouTube replay there. So this also sounds like a very good presentation coming up. So thanks for sharing that. All right, any other announcements? Please call now.
This is me again, Frank.
Yeah, Ed, if you have another announcement, fire away there.
Okay, thank you, Frank. Yeah, you jogged my memory for the folks out of town that won't be in the southern tier of New York. The meeting, if you want to see the presentation, like you mentioned, it's on YouTube after the fact, but we also run the meeting on Zoom. Everybody's welcome to join us on Zoom to take part in that. Just go to W2OW, Whiskey 2 Oscar Whiskey.org, and scroll down and there'll be information there to click on to join us on Zoom, 7 o'clock Eastern Time on Wednesday. Back to you, NE2W.
All right, very good there, Ed. All right, let's move on for questions. If there's any questions for the net this evening, please call now. All right, no questions. We will go in for comments. Just a quick reiteration of the net topic. We were talking about your thoughts on the Anytone ATD168UV. So top of my list is K3BYC Carlton. How was your week?
This is K3BYC. Can you hear me? This is K3BYC. I think I've lost connectivity.
Carlton, I've got you. This is Dennis, W2KDC.
Okay, because none of the dashboards are working. So I was wondering if my internet was out. I'll continue on. I have my thoughts together for the net, but I want to make sure Frank can hear me. Would you test it and see if they picked up what I just said?
Yeah, Carlton, that's affirmative. I can hear you. Sorry, I'm apparently just a little bit slower to the key there. And I can see on my dashboard that Dennis came in there, and I think he rekeyed up one time too. But yes, you're coming through loud and clear for me.
Okay, none of the dashboards are responding right now, so I will go ahead and continue here. This is K3BYC in Darlington, Maryland. Thanks, Frank, for taking the net. Thanks, Dennis, for your help, and good evening to everyone. So far, the weather's been pretty good down here. Very little rain. We might get a storm later on tonight, so we're getting off easy. In regards to the issue, about the 168 Anytone, I happen to. It sounds like a good price point. I own an 878, which I bought about a year ago, and I'm very unhappy with it because I get such a high bit error rate, at least on my hotspot. And I've gone through the Pi-Star software with the calibration adjustments, and I cannot get it down into an acceptable level. So I use my Alliance HD1, which of course it can go up to 10 watts capability, which of course I never use, but the Alliance is the only radio that I really use. The 878 I use for monitoring. I'm going to reset. So, and the Alliance I'm very happy with, and the price point has come down on those. If I were to buy another one, it would certainly be an Alliance. But right now, I have not been able to solve the problem on bit error rate for the Anytone 878. And I haven't really had the opportunity to take it out and work with repeaters to see if it would do it any better than going through the hotspot. And I use a Raspberry Pi 3B Plus. The Alliance does very well. I can keep it under 0.2 as far as bit error rate. But the Anytone just goes nuts on me. I cannot get it down there. So any suggestions? It's got a reputation as a great radio, but I've not been able to succeed on it. That's all I have for now. Everyone have a great week. This is K3BYC. Back to Net Control.
Hey, thanks, Carlton. And yeah, you do refresh my memory that you've mentioned that in the past before. And yeah, you said you have gone through and adjusted the hotspot for the bit to try to bring down the bit error ratio. And yeah, I that's a really bad situation there. And I don't know if you've ever contacted Bridgecom or anything regarding that and see if they could either fix it up or if they could mark it as defective and maybe send you a different one if it really is a defective radio. Um, so hopefully I hear very good things about their customer service. I have never had to call them directly, but I hear that they're very good about their products, and hopefully they could take care of you there. So all right, next on the list is W2KDC Dennis. How was your week?
Oh, hi, Frank. Thanks for taking the net. My week was good. Once not a whole lot of exciting things going. I had to go to the hospital for some tests, but no issues. You know, they say I'm going to continue to live for a while, at least as far as they can tell. So that's all good news. Regarding the net topic, I have an 878 UV2 Plus that I've had a little over a year. Um, I have good luck with it. I haven't had any significant issues. I've had some code plug issues early on, but everything seems to be going good with that. So, as far as the 168, it looks like I think it'd be a pretty good entry radio. It's a matter of really what you want. The differences seem to be. Let me take a quick break. The differences seem to be in Bluetooth, GPS, APRS, and roaming. So, well, I can't do the doesn't have GPS anyway. Also, the battery's not quite. But I guess it's what's important to you. If you're trying to get in inexpensively into DMR inexpensively, relatively, then it's a good way to go. If you don't mind, if you want the other features, having to invest in a higher amount of money for a little bit higher quality radio. But I think it'd be a good radio for somebody trying to get in inexpensively. I guess that's about my story. Once again, thanks for taking the net. This is W2KDC. Back to you, Frank.
Hey, very good there, Dennis, and thanks for outlining the differences there too for those folks that maybe didn't get a chance to look into it. But yeah, the Bluetooth and GPS are removed. I actually didn't hear about the roaming, but if that's removed too, it's one of the features. But it is it's one of their as you mentioned, like a budget friendly or entry level radio, which some people they just want to explore DMR. So they don't want to do it they, like you said, as cheaply as possible. So and I do gotta say, at least DMR has a strong learning curve, but I think the Anytone interface and usability of their radios kind of exceeds some of the other ones that are on the market. As I think Ed NE2W has mentioned before, every radio you get, there's a whole different procedure for it. But all right, next on the list is N2RWH. Ed, how was your week?
N2RWH. Week was good here. Busy. Had a little project today. Had a door handle that had a stripped out screw and got that out after carefully drilling it out. But other than that, a little heavy rain here at the house, but everybody's managed to not lose any power or anything. So other than that, I did get a little bit of the checkout on the Anytone. I'm talking on 878 plus, but certainly would have been very interested in that when I got into it. Um, so other than that, hopefully everybody has a good week coming up here, and turn it back to you, Frank, and to RWH.
Hey, very good there, Ed. And yeah, I was wondering what how Binghamton fared with some of the rain here. It did rain heavily here for a few minutes. Really the wind all day has been quite a big few gusts of wind there coming through in the afternoon here, but it was a nice warm day. So glad Binghamton didn't get hit too hard either there. But we're gonna go out the other way there and see how into NRA Cliff fared with the weather today. So you're up next, Cliff.
Good evening to everyone on that. This is Cliff from Waverly, New York. Yeah, we had a thunderstorm. It sounded like towards Chemung. I heard they lost some power and some trees were down. We had some high winds and some rain here. And so the we had to ground the rig here on the HF to make sure there wasn't any lightning strikes. But I don't know much about the Anytone, but I do operate a DM1701 Ball Fin that we're working right now. So everyone have a great week. This is N2RA. Back to Frank.
Hey, very good there, Cliff. And yeah, I might get in touch with you there, and because I haven't actually had, I don't have one of the ones. I think I used the 1701 valve thing there. I've seen it online. But maybe we'll get with you sometime and see if we can also get a code plug. On 73.net, I try to code plugs for anybody who's getting into DMR and doesn't really want to tackle the technical issues and technical setup of things. Kind of here's a code plug, throw it on your radio, and try it out. It's to me, DMR and original voice is a lot more fun when you actually get to experience it and try it out first, and then you get into all the technical nitty gritty details. Maybe I'll talk with you later sometime and see if I can kind of convert one of our templates kind of over to that radio and see if it works on it. So, right, next on my list is N3OJP. Mick, how was your week?
Good evening, Frank, and everyone on the net. Oh, the week was pretty good. Hey, on this Anytone, I was looking at it, and I agree with you, Frank. It's a nice entry level for those that wanted to get started into DMR. Seems pretty much affordable. I looked at some of the specs, and like Jeff said, it's Windows based for the programming, but I imagine you could do a virtual Linux setup. I think I've never done it. I think I've done the opposite. Or wait a minute, no, I had to program a Raspberry Pi years ago when I first got started. I'm going back 6, 7 years when I got the Alinco, and I was working with a friend of mine, and we had Windows, and somehow we did something with Linux where I've got everything on a thumb drive. All I got to do is put it in, and then I can program the Raspberry Pi. Anyway, I was looking at Ham Radio 2.0 tonight. Their talk. I guess they're gonna go over new radio, the FTM, it's a Yaesu 510 DRASP,
And what's interesting is it does C4 FM, of course, um, 2 meter, 70 centimeters. It's a 50-watt radio, but it also mentions FM 55. I'm not sure if that's FM radio or what FM 55 means. Maybe somebody knows. Let me get a break. There were some nice digital contests this weekend. There was a PSK contest, and there was also RIDI. Of course, that noise drives me nuts every once in a while. But also, of course, the state QSO parties. But also locally here, there's one club called the Breeze Shooters, and they have 3 contests starting in February. One is CW, then they do sideband voice, and last night was digital, and everybody pretty much uses FT8 anymore. Years ago, we used PSK31. I have FT8 up and running, somewhat fluent in it, not real good, but last night was a good chance. And I was able to even do CQ. And of course, I'm getting stations in from other parts of the country, but it was kind of fun. We were able to identify each other because of the way we call CQ. We use BSGW, Breeze Shooters Ground Wave, and then we put our grid number in there. So it was kind of fun there for a while. And of course, 10 meters ground wave, you're kind of limited. That's why I was picking up other stations. So yeah, just curious, Frank, if you know what FM 55 is. And again, they're going to talk about that FTM 510DR radio ASP on ham 2.0. Other than that, had some storms come through, and that's all passed by us now. Frank, I'll turn it back to you. W2FJH and 30JP. Hey, thanks, sir, Mick. And yeah, I am not aware of the FM55. That would be something new for me, and it kind of for a lot of folks that also said that they had 878 UV2 plus already. I'm in the kind of the same boat. I ended up pulling the trigger on the FTM 500, and now they have the FTM 510. Come out for Yesu. So I guess I missed the boat on that one there. Just a quick other thing I just wanted to mention to you, Mick. I'm not sure if you checked on Discord, but yeah, I was mentioning with Steve KA2YRA if you two could meet up sometime about you were just talking about the digital. It reminded me about the JS8 call or anybody else on the net. Please join us on Discord if you could help. Steve out a bit. He was looking for somebody who's familiar with JS8 call and could help him out. So, all right, but back on to the FTM 510. I will open it up for your question there. If anybody has any more information about what FM 55 is, please call now. Well, nothing heard on my end there, so I guess we will all learn it together from the Ham Radio 2.0 video when that comes out. So, all right, I think well, I'll hand it back over to you there, Mick. Hopefully that answers your question, and I guess we'll just have to learn it all together. Okay, Frank. Yeah, I don't know if I'll get a chance to listen to Ham 2.0 tonight. I know they always have replays. But I'm just checking Discord now. I know I commented, but I'll leave a note for Steve with my information, and he can get a hold of me. Thanks again, Frank. N30JP. Okay, thanks there, Mick. And just yeah, I did mention in there, and anybody else on the net as well. As part of our Discord server, there are voice channels. And if you're ever going to meet up with another ham and you know don't have a meeting link or anything, you can always use our voice channel of the meeting lounge. I believe it's called. Or sorry, what do they call it? The meeting room. The meeting room, and you could voice chat there. You should also be able to, turn on webcams or screen share to kind of work together to, work on different problems or discuss any new things you're interested in. So, all right, moving down my list, I have N2QFD. Mel, how was your week?
Here is N2QSD with Whiskey 2 FJH and the rest of the net. Good evening, Frank. We had a pretty good week here. Radioactivity was somewhat limited. It sounds like I missed a good chunk of digital this weekend. And instead, I pulled a bunch of Cat5 wire, wiring up my garage for internet, something I never thought I'd do, but I needed a hard link to my WinLink node to the router. I was at the edge of the Wi-Fi, and I was having a lot of dropped signal, causing problems. With the radios, the new Anytone, as has been said, looks pretty good for the folks it was geared towards. Looks like it does satellite, which is kind of neat. Dad's Baofeng is 1701. I did a lot of the code plug work on that. We can certainly look up some info for you. One of the things with the Baofeng that ties into Jeff's comments and being Windows only with programming CPS software, not only that, the Baofeng 1701 requires that you have a copy of Excel on your computer to update the DMR list, which is kind of a bummer if you don't have it. So, weird decisions, super entry-level radio, and obviously works, but hitting some weird technical walls that I didn't think of. We'll hand it back to you, Frank. Oh, and one more thing. Tompkins County sent out a note, wires and limbs down across the county. Be careful anyone heading that direction. This is N2QFD, back to net control.
Hey, very good there, Mel, and thanks for the public announcement there for Tompkins County. I haven't heard of too many things there. So I was waiting for that here to kind of hear how everybody's faring out with the storm moving through. So, right, yeah, you kind of get that with the budget radios, don't you? They're all kind of programmed a little differently, and I haven't heard of that one before, where you actually need a Excel to actually make changes there. So that's an interesting one, and I will also get with you because I'm not sure if you've seen on 739net. I try to collect some code plugs as kind of a template, so it's just kind of a drop the code plug in, and then later on, as you learn DMR, you learn digital voice, maybe you go ahead and modify, change things up from there. But at least we get something to get people started. So. All right, this is W2FJH with the STNY Digital Voice Net. Let me take a quick standby here to see if there's any additional stations that would like to join this evening. Please call now. All right, nothing heard, so we will continue on down the list to NE2W. Ed, how was your week?
Hey, good evening, Frank, and everyone on the net. It was busy. I spent the week getting the Vera newsletter out. Had to get the information to that, put out the monthly newsletter for the club of what we did and what's coming up. And if anybody wants to see that, go to w2ow.org and look for Verifax. And just as I got it done, I got asked to help out on Saturday over in Vestal. We were giving the exam for the technician class that had been going on for the last 6 weeks. So I got over there Saturday morning about 9 o'clock, and 23 people were there to take their test. And it was very successful. We had 14 new technicians, 3 new generals, and 1 person upgraded from tech to general. So a great percentage, and quite a handful. Let's see, that's like 18 more new hams. We had 4 last month, so there's 20 some new hams coming into the area. Hopefully they'll be at the meeting on Wednesday. So that's been keeping me busy. As far as the any tone, I don't know much about it. I would hate to give up Bluetooth. Let me catch a break here. I really like the Bluetooth feature because I'll tell you, I'll be traveling and want to check into a net on Echolink, like the Absolute Tech Net. They have an Echolink and an All-Star, and with my phone I can hit the Bluetooth and it comes through the speaker of my car, and also if I key the button on the thing, it will transmit through there. So it's nice not having to hold the radio up to listen to it. It works through the Bluetooth in the car. What's next? Discord's been a success. I see you set that up, Frank. That works really nice. And we got some rough weather through here this evening. It blew down the large electrified billboard over there at Arrowhead Books by where Airport Road and Route 17 come together. Quite a bit of wind totally knocked that down and broke their billboard. And I'm trying to think ahead another thing, but when I use Linux, I don't log into the Linux thing itself. I telnet or use SSH for my Windows machine, and that way I'm sitting at a Windows computer and I can do Word, Excel, and all that. And up on the other screen I'll have the session for the Linux machine, and I can control it all from the same keyboard, mouse, and everything. I think I would be lost just having Linux only, because it's sort of seamless. I don't know the difference. I'm doing things, and I don't really have to focus on what I'm in. But that's just the way I have it set up. Back to you, Frank, this is NE2W.
Hey, thanks, Aaron, and thanks for helping out on Saturday there. I know we're all volunteers and everything, so thanks for taking your time and helping people take their tests. And 14 on just that class there. That's a pretty good number. And it reminds me that I should probably I mentioned it before, but I should probably actually really get around to it. I need to probably update the Newham cheat sheet and just ask for any feedback or modifications or changes to it. It's been I think a few years since version 1 came out. I think it's about time we make version 2 and make sure all the information is still accurate and everything. So I will jot it down in my notebook there, and hopefully this week I can at least take a glance at it and maybe send out some emails to like Ford and you and get some feedback. Make sure no new repeaters have come up, if there's any new repeaters, or if any repeaters have changed or modified their PL tones or anything like that. Maybe we should make sure they get updated on there. So, all right, very good there. All right, next on my list is KD3HN. Anna, how was your week?
Hello, Frank and Annette from KD3AJN. Week was busy. Got into a few nets and enjoyed talking to people. I had some storms come through here earlier. It was wind and some rain. It's all gone now. Don't know if it'll come back or not, but we'll see. And that's about it. Have a good week, everyone. 83 AJN.
Hey, very good there, and I'm glad the storms weren't too bad around your area. And we will move on over to the other guy there, N3DQD. Ray, how was your week?
Yeah, W2FJH and the net from N3DQD. The week was fine. We did have, though, today a couple Skywarn nets as a result of the weather here, but fortunately we didn't have any real problems. There was one area that did lose power, and they were expecting it to be out until about 4 p.m., so I have not heard any more. One of our club members put his 220 machine back on here locally, and I was extremely happy about that because I've always been a big fan of 220. So it's been in the room percolating. It doesn't get a lot of activity, but when it does, it has activity for quite a while. So it's always good to have that. I thought it was interesting that the 200th anniversary of the Erie Canal is this year, and Anna and I were in your area 2 years ago and took the log trip, and we plan to go back up to your area here in the late summer, probably. My sister lives there right near the airport, and so and I've been up there many times, so we're quite familiar with your area. That's one reason Mick suggested that we check into your net. Time's out quick. On the Anytone, I don't have a lot of experience with DMR radios. I think if I were to go the whole DMR route, my interest would be a D75 with an open spot. I know that's a bit pricey, but that is, to me, a good solution. Back to net. This is M3DQD.
Hey, thanks there, Ray. And yeah, I haven't heard of the D75. I'll have to Google that there and take a peek. But yeah, actually, yeah, I think it was with Mick. I think it was last year. We were talking. Well, what's the? I can't recall the Hamfest. That's I think it's the Elmira Hamfest, the big Hamfest that's in the area. We were talking last year because I was unable to attend, and we thought maybe this year coming up, we might get a lot of the folks that are from around the area and everything, and maybe we could all have a little get together at the Elmira Hamfest, and actually see everybody face to face. So we'll have to plan that as the Hamfest gets a little closer there. So. All right, this is W2MH with the STNY Digital VoiceNet. I have reached the end of my list, so let's see if there's any additional stations that would like to check in this evening. Please call now. All right, nothing heard there, so let's open it up for any additional stations or any stations that have checked in with additional comments, questions, or concerns. Please call now. All right, hearing nothing then, we might as well wrap things up here. So I'd like to thank Carlton, Dennis, Ed, F, Cliff, Mick, Mel, Jeff, Ed K, Anna, and Ray for joining me this evening. We'll be returning this talk group back to normal amateur radio use. Everybody have a great and safe week there. This is W2FJH, and I'll be listening.